want someone to believe a lie, all you have to do is tell it to them over and over and over.
Mike Johnson, documented false and misleading claims 2023. 1. November 5, 2023, Republican Israel aid bill. Only in Washington can you cut funding, add a pay-for to a new spending measure, and they say it's terrible for the deficit. Rating: false. PolitiFact. Johnson was defending a Republican bill providing $14.3 billion for Israel while claiming that cutting IRS funding made the bill paid for. PolitiFact found that the legislation would actually increase the deficit because the proposed IRS reduction did not offset the spending in the way Johnson claimed.
Halting above-ground construction on Trump's prized ballroom. The judge ruling, quote, each president is a temporary tenant, not the owner of the White House and its executive residence. The president has no, and claims no, constitutionally assigned authority over that property. Not mincing. Trump saying he plans to appeal to the Supreme Court. But critics, the Republicans, question why he's focusing on vanity projects at all, given the ongoing war and affordability crisis and the looming midterms. The New York Times' Maggie Haberman, who's been covering Trump for years, said this week, quote, if you looked at a chart of Trump's mind share, 70% of it would be on his renovations. All the hobbies that distract from his terrible polling numbers, about which he is in denial. Here, Trump's approval rating is now at the lowest of his second term. His disapproval also at its highest, according to prominent pollster Nate Silver. Today, despite these facts, Trump claimed that voters are angry at Republicans, but just not him.
Some great polls recently, real polls, but they're great polls. If I don't run, will those people go out and vote? And that's the one thing I can't tell, because a lot of them are very angry at Republicans, to be honest with you. They're
Why is
angry
that?
I don't know. I mean, they're angry at Republicans, but they're not angry at me.
Why?
They're not angry at me, but they are angry at Republicans.
Republicans are in trouble. 4 separate polls show Democrats leading Republicans on the generic midterm ballot. Reuters has Democrats ahead by 5 points. CNN, 8 points. Emerson College, 11 points. And The Economist, 4 points. As Axios puts it, for Republicans, this is the Trump-induced summer of discontent.
Well, that last part is it. He is forcing us to live in his reality. As a native Washingtonian, to see what this man has done to this city is an abomination. It is abhorrent. Even in during the worst days of the riots and the protests, where people were, spraying, painting here and there, you didn't see anything like that, that touched on the monuments, if you will, of the nation. You may have, a business or a shop owner may have to deal with vandals, et cetera. But there was even amongst those who were angry at the administration, angry at the country, if you will, for the war at Vietnam or the lack of civil rights or the dehumanization of women and subjugation of their rights. They didn't take it out on the national monuments. And that's what Donald Trump is doing. His imprimatur is, I'm going to turn this into me, and there's nothing you can do about it. And to the last point, before moving on to this one, about, this reflecting pool, the situation with the East Wing, what's the court going to do? The court's going to give him what he wants. They'll find a way. They'll make the case that was made here. Well, you've already torn the building down, and you're not going to rebuild the old East Wing, and the administration doesn't have those parameters to do that. So future administrations should know they can't. But what are you going to do? So that's how Donald Trump acts. He acts, and then everybody else has to figure out how to undo it, and they realize they can't. He wins. And somehow, somewhere along the way, we as a nation have got to put a stop to this, because the Congress won't. This Congress will not, which is what the elections are ultimately going to be about. Whether or not there is the American people putting a check back into the balance of things by redesigning, if you will, what the Congress looks like, since Trump wants to redesign everything else.
The MAGA movement is dead. Burn your MAGA flags. Burn your MAGA hats. That is exactly what former MAGA people are doing right now. And this is what it looks like right here. Donald Trump is panicking as MAGA Republicans are saying bye-bye. You betrayed MAGA. Now MAGA is engaged in a mass exodus away from Donald Trump. I'll share with you this MAGA Republican, a lifelong Republican Trump voter, and he watched as his wife was deported. Her name was Jasmine by Trump's ICE and Border Patrol Gestapo, and now he is crying on TV saying, "Where'd my Jasmine go?" You supported this, and now he's no longer MAGA. Play this clip.
Love Jasmine. That's it.
Now, there were primaries yesterday, various states throughout the country. Also, you had MS Now just catching up with voters, former MAGA Republicans, former Trump supporters. Like this guy right here, he was asked a number of questions about Donald Trump lying to MAGA in Ohio, Donald Trump betraying the voters, and Trump promising we were going to do this for you, that for you. And the MS Now host was asking these MAGA voters, so what do you think about Donald Trump giving him and his family tax immunity? Do you like that they're not paying taxes because Trump files frivolous lawsuits against the federal government for $10 billion while whining like the little pathetic coward weasel that he is? Let's watch this. Here, play this clip.
President Trump promised no new foreign wars. He promised to bring down prices. Both of those things aren't happening right now. How are you feeling about your support for him?
He's just a man with money, and therefore it makes him powerful. Money talks louder than, honestly, a whole group of people, sadly. But my view of him went down. I'm not a big fan anymore.
Why?
Like I said, he's got money, so he thinks he's got all the power. He thinks he can make the decisions of going to war, and he doesn't feel the repercussion because of it. We do.
Does the war feel worth it?
I mean, at this point, no. But I mean, it's not going to stop. So.
Is, there any benefit to your life because of this war?
No, not really. Gas prices go up. Store prices go up. Everything goes up.
President Trump is also pushing so that his family is immune from IRS tax audits. They can't be audited. It looks like it may go forward.
Yeah, no. That, pardon my language. No. What? That's not cool. How does he get to do that? We don't. Like, no. No. That's all I got to say.
More Ohio Trump voters, former MAGA voters saying, bye-bye, you pathetic thing, you freaking liar. Here, play this clip.
What does it feel like to be living in these conditions right now, in these economic conditions right now?
Hurt, very hurt. I try to do, sorry, I cried. I try to do a lot for my kids, and I can't do much.
If you could send a message to the president right now, what would you tell him?
He needs to look out for the American people instead of himself. Put us first.
Does America feel great again?
No, not at all.
Let's go back to that guy who was crying, John Gannon on CBS, 75-year-old from Texas, lifelong Republican, Trump voter. He says he regrets his decision because now ICE and Border Patrol took away his wife. Here, play this clip.
I voted for Trump. I am saying that they are picking up law-abiding citizens. They're destroying families, jobs.
John Gannon is a 75-year-old businessman and lifelong Republican who supported President Trump in 2024.
I wouldn't do that again. Not after this fiasco.
His fiancée, 45-year-old Venezuelan immigrant Yasmin Suarez Reyes, was detained by ICE at George Bush Intercontinental Airport in Houston in late July.
8 ICE agents swarmed Jasmine and detained her, didn't tell us why, and rustled her off into a car.
How about this ex-MAGA Trump supporter? I showed you the B-roll at the front as he's burning the MAGA flag, burning the Trump flag, burning the MAGA hat. Here, play this clip.
Here's what I think of you and your corrupt crew of sycophants.
Meanwhile, you have Marjorie Taylor Greene posting this photo with Thomas Massie, with Joe Kent, with Tucker Carlson, with others there in this room. These are not just MAGA people. These were the MAGA lieutenants. These were the people who were leading Trump's MAGA movement. And they are saying, we said no more foreign wars, and we meant it, and supported Trump because he made that promise. He has betrayed us all. Our commitment is America first for all Americans, right, left, and center. The movement has begun. And County Judge Glenn Whitley just endorsed James Tallarico for U.S. Senate. He says how ashamed he is that Ken Paxton is even on the ballot. Play this clip.
But I'm going to have to tell you right now, as a Texan, I am ashamed of the fact that Ken Paxton is even on the ballot. I believe him to be the most corrupt politician that Texas has ever seen. I picked up the paper this morning and read it, and I saw that in Allen last night, he said, I'm excited to educate people about my record over the last 20-something years. Well, let me help him. He has avoided trial on securities fraud charges. He agreed to pay whistleblowers to resolve claims that they had. He was impeached by the members of his own party on allegations of bribery and abuse of office. His divorce proceedings have also received widespread publicity. Somehow he has managed to become a multi-millionaire while serving in public office. Now, he reportedly owns, I think, some 15 homes across this state and this country. No wonder he can't figure out where to vote. Finally, if character, if integrity, and if accountability matters to you, and if having someone who will work for Texas and not for himself, then we must elect James Tallarico in November.
In Texas, Jim Ross, not only is Donald Trump losing MAGA, but he's lost independence a long time ago. Anyone who considers themselves an independent by and large really understands that Donald Trump is an actual traitor, that Donald Trump hates America, that Donald Trump hates our flag, Donald Trump hates real patriots, disgusting and despicable behavior while they slaughter little girls in Iran and while they cover up a child sex trafficking ring and sexually assaulted little girls, and the Trump regime covers up the sex trafficking ring in the United States. Anyway, here, play this clip of
y'all, but I'm awfully tired. It's not just because I'm old and I walked up the stairs back there. It's because I'm tired of divisive politics. I'm tired of hateful rhetoric. I'm tired of corruption. I'm tired of criminals running for office. I'm so tired that I'm willing to fight for what's right. And Tallarico is what's right for this state.
Hit him on the issues. And Paxton should be doing that. Where's Paxton? I've seen Mitch McConnell more than Paxton. McConnell's been in the hospital all summer. Get out of your hole, Paxton, and do something. I kiss race for you. It's not on. Go raise some money, do a hit, and lay the lumber to this guy. I mean, he's younger and he's got he's new or whatever, but come on. If you lose this seat for Republicans in Texas, you should seek asylum in Mexico. This cannot happen.
And then they brought.
If this thing keeps up, you could have Talafrico come in, and you'd have a Senate which I don't think people would recognize. Is that race close?
It is close. There have been multiple polls in the past week that show Talarico leading one after the other. They're within a couple of points, but this is a very real race.
Now, let's play this.
We are getting screwed. Whether you're a little more conservative or a little more progressive, we're all getting screwed. None of us can afford groceries. None of us can afford gas. None of us can afford health care. The billionaires buying the system, buying politicians like Ken Paxton, they don't care who you are. They don't care about your politics. They only care about their profits. Us, as Democrats and Republicans, they don't see red or blue. They only see green. It's time for us to come together across these manufactured divisions to take on the people at the top who have been screwing us over for far too long.
And when the press and the media runs them down, they think about, he's taking care of his billionaire friends. But those billionaire friends provide jobs. And unless you take care of them, those jobs are absent.
The U.S. economy lost 23,000 jobs in the month of July, and the unemployment rate ticked down to 4.1%, but for the wrong reason. The number reflects Americans leaving the labor force.
2025, the United States government lost its last preferred credit rating. Moody's, the major financial credit agency to hold out, downgraded American sovereign debt from AAA to AA1. Standard & Poor's had gone first in 2011. Fitch followed in 2023, and Moody's had completed the sweep in 2025. All three agencies, for the first time in American history, now consider the United States a slightly riskier bet than the gold standard it had held for more than a century. The statement Moody's released ran 3 paragraphs. Successive administrations and Congress, it read, had failed to agree on measures to reverse the trend of large annual fiscal deficits and growing interest costs. The agency did not say a crash was coming, but it did say something that suggested worse. The people responsible for fixing this had repeatedly chosen not to. The American national debt crossed $39 trillion in March 2026. That number grows by roughly $6 billion every single day. Just from the spending Congress already approved, the tax cuts already written into law, and the interest accumulating on everything borrowed before today. The federal government spent $7 trillion in fiscal year 2025 and collected $5.2 trillion. The $1.8 trillion gap came from debt. Interest payments on that debt hit $970 billion in fiscal year 2025.
Wow. The United States looks like it's in pretty bad shape. That debt that we have, that's pretty high. All because of spending. Now, I wonder who's control of this government. Is it Mega in the House, Mega in the Senate, and Donald Trump? All 3 branches of government. They're the ones that are controlling everything. Democrats have no power at all, actually, to do anything about this. Not now, anyway. With Trump and MAGA in the House and the Senate are controlling the power of the purse, all that spending, and Hegseth going in there and asking for more money so he can kill more people. with this military spending, and that's not to mention Project 2025, what they're doing, and not to mention Donald Trump himself stealing money from the government. He wants a fund for the January 6th convicted felons who beat up cops. And then he's even asking that he gets exempt from any tax audits. Now, who is responsible for the job losses and for our debt being as high as it is? I shouldn't even have to ask that question because we know damn well who is in charge of everything right now and who is responsible. The good old boys, the GOP.
Republican Speaker of the House, MAGA Mike Johnson, has continued to keep the House of Representatives shut down in recess all summer long, and frankly, for most of the year. MAGA Mike doesn't like to do work because that would involve, I don't know, doing congressional hearings and oversight and passing laws, and MAGA Mike and Donald Trump don't like doing that, and MAGA Mike's just a Trump bootlicker, but MAGA Mike is panicking as he realizes time is up. MAGA Mike getting ready to lose his job come the midterms, and he'll probably lose all leadership positions in the Republican Party thereafter. And he sees Donald Trump's polling hitting record lows. Donald Trump, according to the Pew Research poll and other aggregates, Trump's polling is the lowest in modern presidential history since modern polling in 1953. So what has MAGA Mike been doing as he's shut down the House of Representatives? Well, basically nothing. And he's been out there, though, reposting this interview that he did recently with Politico. And I had to click on it for you to say, what the hell is MAGA Mike bragging about? Like, what are these MAGA Republicans even talking about right now as Donald Trump has us in this never-ending war in Iran, as gas prices have now hit the highest average in the nation, in the history of our nation for the month of August. As Don stated, we all should have higher prices. We should be thankful for the higher gas prices because this war is a great thing and the higher prices is a wonderful thing for everybody. As Donald Trump said before heading to Nassau County when he was on the tarmac, I want to see those service members, those Navy sailors, and the Marines aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln and the George H.W. Bush who are suffering from horrific conditions that Donald Trump and his Defense Secretary Hegseth have inflicted. Trump says, I want to keep them on board for longer. They should be on there much, much longer. So what?
Acknowledge the pain at the pump. We acknowledge that there's real
Does the
challenges
president
right now.
acknowledge that enough?
Sure he does, yeah. I mean, I talk to him multiple times, usually a day. I mean, he's very in tune to that, and he understands the correlation between this and the midterms. And as you know, he's working around the clock every day to resolve the situation in Iran. He makes no apology for having eliminated their nuclear capability. That's a priority for everybody around the world. What I think will happen in the days, weeks ahead, is we'll have a number of other countries around the world who understand the necessity, for example, of keeping the Strait of Hormuz open for commerce, because most countries have a bigger stake in that than we do.
So you're confident this is going to be put to bed by November, by September?
I'm hopeful it's soon. I mean, you're hearing the White House and folks close to the administration say that we're on the verge of something big here. I hope that's true. If we're not, if we're disappointed by the Iranians again because they can't be trusted at the negotiation table, then we'll handle this as quickly and as steadily as we can without compromising the position and the freedom and the interests of the American people. And that's ultimately what's at stake here. I'm confident Ghan is handling this and that Congress is watching it closely, and we'll see how it develops. But
did you hear what he just said? That we'll see what happens. That's the whole fucking problem. They sit on their asses. They don't do shit. They let Trump run wild, does whatever thing he wants to do, and they back him up. They rubber stamp his bullshit. They rubber stamp his lies. They rubber stamp him trying to rip us off, gone in our pockets for his little vanity trips. and everything else he wants to do. And Donald Trump's family making billions off of us. And Congress, who controls the House and the Senate, are just going to sit back to see what happens. What the fuck? What are you going to wait? Wait till the world blows up before you fucking do anything? Now they're up there fucking crying, trying to put the blame, saying that this is Joe Biden's economy. After 18 months, them sitting in the on the driver's side, steering this economy and steering this country. They're going to blame it on Joe Biden. It's ridiculous. And if anybody doesn't see that, you're not paying attention to what is going on. They're going to see what happens, which they would have fucking did something a long time ago to slow Trump down, to stop Trump from doing what he's doing. We would not be in this position right now. Medicaid and Medicare would not have been getting cut. SNAP would not be getting cut for kids. Lunches in schools would not be getting cut where these kids have to go to school hungry. Or when they get into school, they don't get any free lunches. And some of you people out there saying, oh, he's a socialist. I say, okay, you know what? You're a socialist too. If you collect a social security check, you collect any kind of benefits from the government, that makes you a socialist too. So stop with the bullshit. These motherfuckers are not conservatives. If they was conservatives, do you think that we would have the trillions of dollars of debt that we're in right now? Do you think that our ratings would have went from a AAA rating to a AA rating? They call themselves conservatives? You call yourselves conservatives? You have no idea what a fucking conservative is. And they don't care. They're just using the name conservative when they are fucking crooks. Simple as that.
Control panel with a bunch of dials every day. There's over 250 dials or so. And every day I'd spend all the time trying to make sure they're perfectly calibrated. As soon as I step back to assess that, there's something that goes off that's way off my panel. There are things out of my control. Okay, so all I can do as the leader of my party in the House and our effort is to make sure that we're controlling the controllables. I feel really good about that. But we are running a transparent campaign that is honest with the people, and it's exactly the opposite of what Joe Biden tried to pull off. He has made everybody's life better. He has put the economic conditions in place. World affairs sometimes intervene in those things. Domestically, we're doing everything we said. We're keeping our promises. Newt Gingrich has a good way of crystallizing things, and he said,
we're bringing in Newt.
I'm bringing in Newt. He and I talk about this a lot. He's probably the greatest living historian of all things pertaining to Congress. And he said, Mike, you think about this. This election isn't a contract with America year. Y'all did that really in 2024, and you kept your promises. This is more of a contrast for America year, and I think that crystallizes it well. And I said earlier, contrast between common sense and crazy, but really increasingly now, this is a big thing. It's a contrast between common sense and communism. And you can shrug that off, but I'm telling you, I've been flying around the country. I'm going to every state, okay? Everywhere I go, the alarms are being raised. There are two things that motivate people in a midterm. One is anger. Of course, Democrats have that. The other is fear. And this is a real fear that people have, that Marxists are taking over our government. They put out their platform. Everybody in Politico needs to be paying attention to this. I mean, your audience is...
MAGA Mike...
Move quickly. He wants to fix everything overnight. And the legislative body is frustrating to everybody because the Congress is designed in a way, especially the Senate, to move slowly. And that's a frustration to a type A, go-getter, problem-solving president like we have. I mean, he's a real hands-on commander-in-chief, and he wants to fix it all immediately. So he's trying to acclimate to that and accept the challenges and the hurdles we have in doing that. And yet we're still delivering the agenda. And so, look...
Here is MAGA Mike, Wisconsin, to victory in the Wisconsin 7th Republican primary. I look forward to working together to defend and grow the majority in November. I mean, look at this weirdo. This Michael Alfonso, weird dude. And he's Sean Duffy's son-in-law. And the guy's like, I thought he was in middle school, but apparently, and he gives these interviews and he's obviously reading a script next to Sean Duffy, and he's got Sean Duffy by his side. I mean, it's actually DEI. Didn't earn it. DEI didn't earn it. I mean, this guy's video that he dropped, and this MAGA Mike's like posting it about his campaign. He did like, there's 3 cuts in 6 seconds because the guy can't speak in sentences. Here, play this clip.
We're finally here, August 11th, with a big election this Tuesday. You know, it's really been the honor of a lifetime to go all around.
And then MAGA Mike takes it literally a crazy thing. I mean, Donald Trump, like literally, I mean, these are crazy people who behave like crazy communists who engage in the past 2 years. I mean, they're getting mocked by Iran right now as Donald Trump hides in cafeteria trucks in Turkey. They're just mock him every damn day. And Trump's polling, as I know, at his all-time low.
Yeah, he's talking about things are out of his control. Dude, you're running the house. You have power of the purse. Tell Donald Trump fucking no. That's what you should have been doing in the first place when he started coming up with these fucking crazy ideas. When he fucking passed that fucking big, beautiful, shitty a bill for the 1%. It doesn't benefit your constituents at all. Man. It's absolutely nuts. They have no control. You know why they don't have no control? Because he's too busy licking Trump's boots, along with the rest of the fucking MAGA in the House and in the Senate. They all need to go in November. Every last one of them. We need to get this country back on track again. We have no allies, really. If somebody was going to hit us, they would have no problem doing it. Because nobody's going to tell us that we're being hit, that we're going to get hit. Because Donald Trump has made enemies of our allies. So, and I'm going to tell you, some of them would probably welcome the United States getting hit. Because if they get hit, it starts to straighten things out the way that it should be straightened out. That's what their logic would be. And they're fucking right. If this country gets hit one time, another 9/11, things would change in this country. MAGA and Donald Trump and the Republicans would not see the House, the Senate, or the presidency for years to come. And because of them, this is why we would get hit if we're going to get hit.